Have you observed the subtle shifts in your physical form? That vigor, once seemingly boundless, now appears to wane as seasons turn. The information I will present may well upend your current understanding of growing older and diminishing strength. Listen closely through to the conclusion. A concluding revelation reshaped my perspective on vitality and holds the potential to alter the paths of countless individuals feeling defeated by age. A concealed reality. A majority of older viewers are likely contending with age-related muscle decline. This quiet pilfer erodes your autonomy, piece by piece. However, there's crucial information medical professionals often omit. This degradation is not the unchangeable fate many assume. For many years, diminishing muscle was seen as an ordinary aspect of advancing age. Yet, newer studies unveil findings both more concerning and importantly more hopeful. Consider this. Are the hours just before your nightly rest the most vital period for safeguarding the power accumulated through your years? And could particular foods taken during this specific time frame substantially slow or possibly reverse the muscle weakening that makes daily tasks feel more challenging? I have dedicated over a decade to exploring Eastern and Western methods for extended vitality, collaborating with traditional wellness practitioners and pioneering scientists. My findings regarding evening nourishment fundamentally altered the outcomes for my senior participants. One lady, we'll name her Eleanor, arrived at my wellness institute reliant on a walking aid at age 75. She believed her self-sufficiency was irretrievably lost. Half a year after adopting the pre-sleep nutritional plan I am about to outline, she contacted me overjoyed. She had just completed a 5-kilometer stroll without her walker, without any help. I feel like my life has been returned to me, she shared. This evening I am revealing the 4 distinct foods that, when taken before retiring, foster the ideal biological setting for muscle upkeep. This isn't about intricate supplements or restrictive eating plans. It's about harmonizing with your body's inherent cycles and giving it precisely what it requires during the vital recuperative hours of slumber. A misunderstood mechanism. Before I introduce these foods, it's essential to grasp why common beliefs about aging and strength decline are fundamentally incorrect. We've been conditioned to think muscle deterioration is merely a consequence of years passing, that after mid-century, one might anticipate losing 1.5 to 2.5% of muscle bulk annually, with this trend quickening beyond 70. Such a narrative benefits entities profiting from our reliance on pharmaceuticals and mobility devices. But it disregards groundbreaking findings from vitality research centers worldwide. What truly occurs is an intricate interaction of hormonal shifts, inflammation, and, most significantly, disruptions in muscle protein creation. As we mature, our systems become less adept at using protein to construct and preserve muscle. This capability lessens by approximately a third around age 68. But, and this is pivotal, this reduction isn't consistent across the day. The most significant decline occurs during your sleep. This is where the standard, just consume more protein, counsel completely fails. The timing and blend of your intake are as important as the amount. While you sleep, your body initiates its most profound repair phase. Lacking the correct nutritional elements, it cannot adequately mend the microscopic wear that muscle tissue endures daily. Instead of renewal, you experience gradual weakening, night after night, week upon week, year after year. I frequently saw this pattern in my older clients who were seemingly doing everything correctly, exercising, eating nutritious meals, getting enough protein, yet still saw their power diminish. Then I came across studies from Japan's Kyoto Longevity Research Center that investigated nighttime muscle defense. Their conclusions overturned established notions and indicated a solution that was always there, a cellular insight. The processes within your body during slumber are truly remarkable. As you dream, countless cells are diligently repairing genetic material, eliminating cellular debris and reconstructing tissues. Yet, this activity demands particular building materials and catalysts, compounds that initiate and boost these repair functions. Without these, your body is like a workshop attempting repairs with no tools or supplies. The key repair hormone, a natural growth factor, reaches its zenith in deep sleep. This hormone is crucial for muscle upkeep and regeneration, but it needs an adequate nutritional base to perform optimally. Herein lies the significant discovery. Specific foods establish what researchers term a muscle-sparing state when eaten before rest. This finding clarifies why certain populations show remarkably lower incidences of age-related muscle wasting. In regions like Sardinia, Italy, known for its exceptionally long-lived inhabitants, traditional evening nourishment includes specific nutrient combinations that, through cultural practice rather than scientific planning, perfectly facilitate nighttime muscle integrity. Their seniors often maintain vigor and independence well into their 10th decade. When I initially learned of this research, I was dubious. If the answer was so simple, why wasn't it widely known? The reason became apparent when I examined the financial incentives. The international market for mobility aids and treatments for muscle decline is valued at over 55 billion each year. There is scant monetary motivation to advocate for straightforward, food-based approaches that individuals can use without prescriptions or medical procedures. Time-tested wisdom. My personal exploration toward this understanding started during a period at a Himalayan monastery, learning from Master Tharchin, who at 94 could still perform martial routines that would test practitioners decades younger. His physical endurance defied conventional medical wisdom. When I inquired about his methods, he didn't mention rare botanicals or strenuous training. He spoke of respecting the body's innate rhythms through conscious evening eating. The system rebuilds at night what it expends by day. He explained, if you provided pebbles instead of good bricks, how can it construct a robust dwelling? This straightforward insight propelled me on a lengthy quest through various cultures, seeking similarities in how the most energetic elders managed their final meal of the day. A consistent pattern appeared, one that contemporary science is only now starting to confirm. Across varied traditions, from ancient Chinese practices to Ayurvedic principles and Mediterranean customs, particular nutrient blends were consumed before sleep, fostering what we now recognize as the prime conditions for muscle preservation and renewal. It wasn't until I collaborated with nutrition scientists at the European Center for Healthy Aging that we pinpointed the exact processes involved. Employing sophisticated muscle analysis techniques and overnight metabolic tracking, we showed how certain foods significantly changed the body's nighttime muscle protein creation, the method by which your body sustains and rebuilds muscle. The outcomes were astonishing. Individuals who ate the correct nutrient mix before bed demonstrated up to a third more muscle renewal during sleep compared to a control group over a 6-month duration. This led to observable gains in muscle volume, power, and everyday autonomy. Essential timing. Now, before disclosing the 4 specific foods that enable this, understanding the timing aspect is crucial. The success of this strategy depends on synchronizing with your body's natural cadences. The optimal period for consuming these muscle-sparing foods is 45 to 75 minutes before resting. This time frame permits initial digestion while guaranteeing the nutrients are accessible during the peak regenerative phases of deep sleep. I've observed too many individuals misjudge this. Eating too soon means nutrients are processed before deep sleep starts, or too late causes digestion to impair sleep quality. Both errors diminish the potential advantages. The ideal moment is when nutrient availability matches your body's peak output of key repair hormones and intensive cellular mending activities. Imagine it as sowing seeds just prior to a rainfall. Aligning planting with prime growing conditions greatly boosts the harvest. Your body functions similarly. Coordinating your nourishment with natural repair cycles amplifies its impact. With that vital groundwork established, allow me to reveal the 4 particular foods that, when taken within this time frame, establish the best setting for preserving and rebuilding muscle tissue as you mature. The primary cornerstone. The first foundational food might seem unexpected, as it has been unjustly criticized in standard dietary recommendations for older adults. Nevertheless, it is arguably the most potent aid for nighttime muscle upkeep: high-grade, slow-digesting protein. Like that in quark, scar, or specific protein formulas, this type of protein offers a prolonged release of amino acids all through the night. Unlike fast-acting proteins, which are quickly absorbed, this slow-release variety creates a steady 6 to 8 hour supply of the essential components your muscles require for mending. This sustained release feature makes it exceptionally beneficial during sleep, when your body needs a consistent nutrient flow rather than a rapid surge. A significant study featured in the Nutrition and Metabolism journal showed that 35 grams of this slow protein taken before bed boosted muscle protein creation during sleep by 20% versus a placebo. For seniors, this means noticeably better muscle conservation over time. Participants who followed this regimen for half a year exhibited considerably less muscle deterioration than control groups, irrespective of their exercise routines. What makes this protein particularly effective is its rich content of leucine, a key amino acid that initiates muscle protein creation. As we age, our bodies need more leucine to spark this process. While younger individuals typically need about 1.8 grams of leucine, seniors might require 2.6 to 3.2 grams to get the same muscle building effect. An appropriately sized portion of these protein-dense foods delivers this exact quantity. My acquaintance Arthur, a dedicated former cyclist who had seen his leg strength diminish despite regular activity, added protein-rich scare to his evening ritual. Within several months, he mentioned that the stairs at his home were no longer the daunting obstacle they once were. "It's more than just a physical improvement," he confided. "It's the renewed self-assurance from feeling capable again." Defense against inflammation. The second vital element targets the covert adversary of muscle integrity in older individuals, persistent inflammation. While some inflammation is a natural aspect of muscle mending, chronic, low-level inflammation significantly impedes muscle protein creation. This is why the second key bedtime food is anthocyanin-rich berries like Montmorency cherries or their undiluted juice. These exceptional fruits harbor compounds known as anthocyanins, proven to lessen inflammatory indicators and oxidative damage. A study in the European Journal of Applied Physiology found that individuals consuming tart cherry juice before sleep had notably less muscle breakdown overnight compared to those who did not. This result is especially pertinent for seniors because aging naturally elevates baseline inflammation. This heightened inflammatory condition constantly hinders muscle preservation efforts. By specifically addressing nighttime inflammation, these berries foster a more conducive environment for muscle rebuilding. Furthermore, tart cherries are a rare natural source of melatonin, the hormone governing sleep-wake cycles. High-quality sleep is indispensable for muscle upkeep. The most intensive repair occurs during deep sleep, by enhancing sleep quality and reducing inflammation. These berries provide a twofold advantage that directly aids muscle maintenance. I observed this effect strikingly in my work with support groups for ex-military personnel, where many veterans face both sleep issues and rapid muscle decline. One member, David, had tried various sleep medications without success in halting his weakening strength. After incorporating concentrated cherry juice before bed, he not only slept better but also retained more strength gains from his physical therapy. For the first time in ages, he told the group, "I don't feel like my body is in a losing fight." The mineral marvel. The third essential component addresses a widespread deficiency affecting a vast majority of older adults, directly impacting muscle operation and upkeep. Magnesium. This vital mineral participates in hundreds of bodily processes, including those governing protein creation, muscle and nerve operation, and energy generation. As we mature, magnesium absorption typically lessens due to intestinal changes, lower stomach acidity, and common medication side effects. This situation creates a scenario where the body requires more magnesium for muscle support but takes in less from food. The effects are significant but often mistakenly blamed solely on aging. Muscle discomfort, heightened tiredness, and quicker loss of power and mobility. Dark green leafy vegetables such as chard are nature's magnesium reserves and are an excellent part of your pre-sleep nourishment plan. Just one serving of cooked chard can supply nearly 35% of the daily magnesium older adults need, in a form the body readily utilizes during sleep. What makes magnesium especially beneficial before bed is its function in stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system, your body's rest and restore state. When this system is active, your body shifts energy from stress reactions toward recovery activities, including muscle care. Moreover, magnesium aids in regulating cortisol, the stress hormone that, if high at night, can substantially hinder muscle protein creation. I saw this principle in action with Helen, a 76-year-old who was told her ongoing leg discomfort and diminishing grip were just signs of getting older. After including magnesium-dense foods in her evening meals, she not only found relief from discomfort, but also a steady recovery of her functional abilities. My physician was astounded when I showed improvement on all physical tests, she shared. He inquired about the new medicine I was on. He found it hard to accept it was simply chard, connective tissue aid. The fourth element focuses on a frequently neglected part of muscle performance, the network of connective tissue that enables muscles to produce force efficiently. Collagen, the most prevalent protein in your system, provides the structural basis for muscles, tendons, and ligaments. With age, collagen synthesis sharply decreases, affecting not just skin tone, but the structural soundness of the entire musculoskeletal framework. This is why collagen-rich stock or similar foods become vital before retiring. They supply the specific amino acids, glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, that are fundamental for collagen creation. What makes these amino acids particularly useful at night is their contribution to what researchers call tissue architecture integrity, the structural support that allows muscles to work effectively. Research featured in the International Journal of Sport Nutrition and Exercise Metabolism indicated that individuals who took collagen peptides before sleep demonstrated notably better preservation of muscle function compared to those taking other proteins. The distinction seems to lie in how collagen bolsters the entire musculoskeletal system, not merely the muscle fibers. For seniors, this means enhancements not just in muscle bulk, but in everyday practical strength, the kind that fosters independence. Clara, an 81-year-old in our nutritional study, added bone broth to her evening habit and mentioned that, for the first time in ages, she could rise from low seats without arm support. "It's not just about appearing stronger," she remarked. "It's about navigating life with assurance again." the ideal blend. What renders this four-part strategy so potent is the synergistic action of its components, each amplifying the other's benefits. The slow-release protein delivers the foundational elements. The anthocyanin-rich berries establish an optimal inflammatory state. The magnesium activates crucial enzymatic functions, and the collagen fortifies the structural support. Collectively, they address muscle upkeep from several directions at once. The practical execution is simple. Roughly an hour before bed, have a small serving of quark or skyr for protein, about a quarter cup of tart cherry juice or a small portion of the berries, a side of lightly cooked dark leafy greens like chard, and a small cup of collagen-rich stock. This combination requires mere moments to prepare yet provides hours of optimal muscle, preserving nourishment during sleep. The simplicity is deliberate. The most beneficial health routines are those one can consistently follow. I have helped numerous seniors with this plan, and the outcomes are compelling. They not only achieve measurable gains in muscle preservation but also report notable improvements in their life quality, from deeper sleep and better mobility to renewed confidence in their physical prowess. A common misunderstanding. Now I must tackle the widespread belief that has kept so many older individuals from trying this method: the apprehension about eating before bed. Conventional advice has long cautioned against nighttime meals, citing worries about digestion, sleep disturbance, and weight gain. This sweeping restriction has caused considerable harm by denying aging bodies nourishment during essential repair periods. The reality is more complex. What's crucial isn't if you eat before sleep, but what you eat. The four elements I've described are chosen specifically to aid, not hinder, sleep quality while supplying the exact nutrients needed for overnight muscle care. Indeed, findings from the Dutch Institute for Sleep Research showed that appropriate pre-sleep nutrition can actually enhance sleep by stabilizing blood sugar and providing tryptophan, an amino acid that helps manage sleep patterns. Study participants who had the protein-rich, anti-inflammatory evening snacks I suggest showed better sleep quality and duration than those who abstained from eating before bed. This discovery highlights a significant flaw in typical advice for seniors. The very habit suggested for better health, avoiding food before bed, actively contributes to faster muscle loss and the associated decline in function. A tailored strategy. While these four elements constitute the basis of effective nighttime muscle preservation, individual requirements can differ based on health status, medications, and personal reactions. This is where attentive self-monitoring is key. I advise my participants to keep a straightforward log noting their adherence to this plan, along with observations on morning vitality, any nighttime unease, and weekly notes on strength and mobility. This habit uncovers patterns and permits personalized adjustments. For some, digestive sensitivities might mean smaller servings or slight timing changes. Others may find that particular preparations of these foods suit their system better. The core principle stays the same: deliver the correct nutrients during the vital time frame, but the precise execution can be customized. This individualized method is a stark departure from the generic recommendations usually given to older adults. Your body's inherent knowledge, once you learn to heed it, offers the most sophisticated counsel available. The journal evolves into a conversation with your own body, yielding insights no standard advice could offer. Samuel, a 77-year-old retired academic who valued his systematic way of doing things, fully adopted this tracking method. After several months, he found his ideal timing was a bit earlier, around 75 minutes before bed instead of 60, and that gently warming his quark made it easier for his system to digest. These seemingly minor tweaks resulted in considerably better outcomes. For the first time, he shared with me, "I feel like I'm collaborating with my aging body, not waging a hopeless war against it." Putting it into practice. Before I reveal the ultimate insight that could reshape your view of aging, let's discuss the practicalities of starting this. Having guided many seniors through this, I can foresee common hurdles and queries. Firstly, consistency outweighs perfection. An occasional missed evening won't halt your progress, but making this a firm part of your routine brings the most significant benefits. Many of my clients find that connecting it to an existing habit, like evening hygiene or medication, helps solidify the practice. Secondly, quality is paramount. The nutritional value of your chosen foods directly influences their impact. When feasible, choose organic dairy from pasture-raised animals, cherries without extra sugars, organic greens, and stock made from high-quality ingredients. Your system recognizes the difference. Thirdly, patience is vital. While some advantages, like improved sleep, might appear within days, the muscle-preserving effects accumulate gradually over weeks and months. The most remarkable changes I've seen typically occur between 3 and 6 months, as the compounded benefits of nightly muscle care start to show in measurable strength and ability. Beatrice, who joined our vitality program feeling resigned to increasing weakness, described it aptly after 4 months of consistent effort. It's like tending a garden. On a daily basis, you might not see much, but when you look back at where you began, the change is undeniable. A more profound understanding. Now, allow me to share the concept that can alter not just your strategy for muscle upkeep, but your entire outlook on aging. This is the realization that transformed everything for my participants and could do likewise for you. The common narrative about aging depicts decline as unavoidable, a direct path toward reduced capability. This portrayal is not only disheartening, it's fundamentally incorrect. Our current knowledge of human physiology presents a more detailed and optimistic view. While some aging aspects are indeed ongoing, functional deterioration is largely determined by our lifestyle, not merely our lifespan. The body retains significant regenerative power well into later years. Given the proper support, including the evening nutrition plan I've detailed, it can maintain and even restore abilities that conventional wisdom deems permanently lost. This isn't mere optimism. It's supported by research across fields from exercise science to neurobiology to nutritional science. What makes this insight so empowering is how it returns control to the individual. Instead of viewing decline as a certainty, you see it as responsive to your decisions, including your pre-sleep meals. This change reframes aging from a passive experience into a journey you actively shape and direct. I have observed this mental shift repeatedly in my older clients, and its effects go far beyond physical power. When individuals grasp their ability to influence their aging process, everything alters: their future plans, their daily actions, even their self-image and assurance. Arthur, the former cyclist I mentioned, expressed this wonderfully at our 6-month review. "Realizing I can impact how my body ages hasn't just changed my muscles," he stated. "It has changed my outlook. I've stopped bracing for decline and started strategizing for continued ability. That shift alters everything. The ultimate revelation, the final understanding I wish to impart, surpasses even the potent nutritional strategy I've shared. It addresses the deeper reality of aging, often clouded by societal narratives and commercial agendas. The human body's capacity to sustain and renew itself doesn't cease with age. It adapts to the conditions we foster. The 4 bedtime foods I've described are more than just dietary suggestions. They symbolize a profoundly different approach to the latter part of life. When you consume these particular nutrients before sleep, the slope-release protein, the anthocyanin-rich berries, the magnesium-dense greens, and the collagen support, you are engaging in a deeply unconventional act. You are challenging the story of unavoidable deterioration and claiming your power to craft a new narrative. This method has assisted thousands in regaining strength that they believed was gone, but its most significant contribution might be the mindset it cultivates. When you directly witness how your body reacts to these deliberate actions, when you perceive tangible results in your everyday existence, you foster an unwavering belief in your ability to shape how you age. That belief becomes self-sustaining. As strength and ability improve, activity levels naturally rise. With greater activity comes richer engagement with life. This positive feedback loop directly counters the downward trend many have been conditioned to expect with advancing years.